Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the Arctic North, more specifically Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the town that I was born in. And I am outside of the Milwaukee Public Museum. Now you might say this is just another museum, but to me, this is hallowed ground. My parents were divorced when I was young, and I would come visit my dad often on weekends and holidays here in Milwaukee. And every time I came, there was only one place that I ever wanted to go, and that is right here. This is hallowed ground. This is my childhood summed up in one building and one experience. Me and my little brother would come here, and it was almost like a ritual. We had to see the same exhibits in the same order. I don't know, we were both very obsessive kids, but we loved it here. We loved everything. I've not been here in a while, and one of the best and most well-known exhibits here is the streets of old Milwaukee. It's like a mock-up of what Milwaukee used to look like. There's mannequins, you walk through it, it's super cool, super great theming. Apparently they've redone it, they have modernized it. And I'm terrified that my childhood will be destroyed here in a few minutes as I step foot in this museum. So I wanted to show you all, this museum is super special to me. I wanted to look and see what was the same, what was different. So follow me. I showed up later in the day. It's kind of eerily quiet in here. I love this part here. This is set up like an old Victorian museum, the way the taxidermy is displayed. It's kind of how an old Victorian museum would be shown. It's a platypus. And this is truly something remarkable. This is the famous tableau of the muskrats made by Carl Akeley, the father of taxidermy. And I've talked about him in other videos, but he basically invented the modern form of taxidermy while working at this museum. And this is considered the first proper taxidermy display. I think there was some done in the past with cruder forms of taxidermy, but this is like the first modern taxidermy display. Alright, we got the streets of old Milwaukee, and this is the new entrance. Apparently you enter through this streetcar. I'm honestly frightened that they ruined it. Okay. They're like playing a movie of... I guess are we traveling back in time? Is this a time machine? This newspaper booth just shouted at me. Kind of scared me, actually. Okay, so a lot of this is the same. I remember from my childhood that someone's talking. Anyways, it's the Usinger's sausage shop with the sausage lady. This is the notorious old granny sitting on the porch here. When I was a kid, I was actually so frightened of her that I didn't want to walk past it because it scared me. But over the years, I learned to grow fond with the old rocking granny here on the porch. I just noticed her house is quarantined. That's kind of frightening. Oh, wow. This is actually kind of impressive. This is the movie theater. I haven't seen these doors open for like 30 years. There used to be a movie theater here. They closed it down for literally like 30 years. Now it's reopened. That's cool. That's a big plus. The old bar scene. I noticed the lights seem to be flickering. Guess that gives a more authentic look at how things may have been lighting wise. Honestly, I don't think I've ever been on the streets of old Milwaukee by myself. It's kind of a weird feeling. Like I said, I walked up and down this with my dad when I was a child, and now I'm like here and I'm alone. It's almost like a dream. They always have like one actual store that's open and sells old candy. They've added some sound effects. That seems to be the biggest difference, is that there's now weird sound effects. Up here in the rafters. This is the photographer's shop, and oh, there's the flash goes. Love that. Always flashes when you walk by. Let's see if we can get the flash again. See, we always tried to figure out what triggered the flash. See, it's almost like you can never get it to flash twice. So old Milwaukee, actually, my childhood's not ruined. It's actually, most of it is kept. There's that cat again. Most of it is kept the same, more of a polishing. They added a few things, some sounds. They added some stars up in the sky, but they didn't take anything away. That's the most important thing. And the main difference is the trolley entrance, which is, just a piece of window dressing. So all is good here in old Milwaukee. All right, and then from old Milwaukee, we immediately transition into the European village. It's kind of cool. Every cabin or every home represents a different country in Europe. Oh, look. They even kept Padraic O'Connor, the Irish storyteller. This little puppy. You have to pay a quarter to have him tell a story. There's a beggar. You gotta put the money in his skull. I think my love of mannequins and wax figures came from this building. Got these dinosaur hunters. Oh, look at that raccoon down there. This massive wall of taxidermy. This is Samson. He was a famous gorilla, a superstar gorilla at the Milwaukee Zoo. And this is actually not taxidermy. He was, his body was disposed of when he died, and they actually took his skeleton and used pictures, and this woman created this amazing replica of him. It's on this spot right here that I learned what stalactites and stalagmites were. Here we see a fish becoming a half fish, becoming a lizardy thing, and pretty soon there'll be a gorilla. There's the Stegosaurus from head to Thagomizer. This tree right here is where my little brother Zach used to hide because he was terrified. And what was he terrified of? This. Whoa. Don't remember him being so loud. This is the most iconic scene at the Milwaukee Museum. It scared me when I was little too. This is a long tradition of scaring children. The T-Rex just devouring the guts of that Triceratops. Really graphic scene, but really, truly leaves an impression on you. Now, I never watch movies in museums. Does anyone out there actually watch movies in museums? And there, under the shining neon lights, is the Rainforest. They actually added this. They should not be here when I was really little, but it's interesting the way they have it displayed. They have the taxidermy all in these weird boxes. An interesting way to display things. Love this one. The eternal battle between snake and alligator. Now, this museum has some interactive features. Check this one out. You press this button right here. Going up. This exhibit on Native Americans actually used to move. The announcer right there. Used to rotate and they would dance, but for some reason at some point it broke down. I know it's been broken for quite some time. Another standout display is this scene of buffaloes being chased by Native Americans. And there used to be a little Easter egg here. Let's see if it's still there. Okay, I found it, but apparently it's broken. There's a button. See that button right there? You press that button, and right now it does nothing. But it used to be you press that button, and that rattlesnake right there would rattle his little tail. was so cool because like it's hidden. There was nothing marking that there was a button right there. And anytime you brought a new person to the museum, you could show them that you know a secret, and you could get the rattlesnake to rattle its rattle. Kind of sad that's broken. That really bums me out. I didn't know this when I was a kid, but in their storage, they have a Fiji mermaid, an authentic one. They won't display it because they say it's ridiculous, but they brought it out like for a special attraction one time when they were doing a exhibit on fakes, but I didn't make it. here are the Wisconsin mammals. Of course, the badger, because it is the Badger State. Look at these rabbits. And of course, there's possums in Wisconsin. This is actually pretty interesting. This bird wall of taxidermy birds. The lights go on when the birds are here in Wisconsin, and when they migrate out, the lights go off. This beaver display is awesome. Got this beaver right here chowing down on some wood. And they've got their nest right here. And you even get a little peekaboo inside of their nest. I was always fascinated by the fact that they had to go down the water and come up the water to get inside their home. I guess that's a very safe way to live. Love the bee display. The bears are eating honey, getting attacked by bees. And as a kid, it would always bother me, like scenes like this. The predators were lurking. I wanted to shout out to the deer, "Get out of the way! Get out of here! He's gonna pounce!" Always felt sorry for the deer. And here we see the little babies having a little barf feast. Remember, one time we were in Florida and a pelican did that next to Annabelle, and she claimed that the bird was trying to eat itself. And we have a bit of comedy slipped into this one, hidden. These two massive bucks fighting over this female deer, and she is looking off longingly at this third male off in the field. In the battle between the vicious and the adorable, the vicious always come out on top. It's eating delicious salmon. On to floor number 3. Of course, up here on the 3rd floor is where you come to watch a naked man gut a kangaroo. This is another part of the museum that always scared us kids and we didn't want to cross, was this wall of human skulls that for some reason are actually just out where you can touch them. Real human skulls. My dad used to, they're nailed in, my dad used to actually take them out and scare us with them. Are we still using that word? Alright, my dad always gets upset when we go to this part. Not because he thinks it's offensive, but this woman right here, this naked African woman, used to be facing the other way. Her butt was actually pressed towards the glass, and there was like a plaque explaining that, you know, different people from different cultures have different body shapes and body types. But apparently people complained, they thought it was too graphic, so they turned her around so her butt was facing that way. Hidden Mickey? This is showing that both the shortest and tallest cultures both live in Central Africa. The short pygmy and then the Tutsi tribe, which is frighteningly tall. Yeah, this museum just has some of the best taxidermy displays. Check out that. Now, during my travels to many, many museums and auditoriums and freak shows, I've seen about 8 million shrunken heads. But the very first shrunken heads I ever saw were these 3 right here. I'll never, ever forget it. Burned into my brain. That one always sticks out to me, that white one. I just remember seeing these for the first time and asking my dad what they were and him explaining to me that they were shrunken heads, and I just the thought that something like that even existed in the world, and the fact that there was real people's heads right there. Not only people's heads, but they were shrunken. How would you even go about shrinking a head? At the time I wasn't educated in how you shrink a head, now I know, but it was just mind-blowing and horrifying. You know, as much nostalgia is connected to this place, there's a lot of childhood horror as well. And this right here is Jed Hoare, the mummy. Oh, here's another mummy. I thought they only had one, but this is Patty Heru. After all these years, that pig does still not want to go to the market. To actually go inside this igloo. Makes igloo seem pretty cozy. The big takeaway from this museum is that history and the animal kingdom are violent. Another one of the Milwaukee Public Museum's predator stalking scenes. And I know that these orangutan were also done by Carl Agley. I love this tunnel, has the ocean scenes in it. Everything's eating something else. Ooh, there's a big marlin. So wow, I know I'm biased, but I still think that is the best museum in the country. And just the amount of nostalgia, personal nostalgia for me in there is just overwhelming. A lot of people talk about going to Disney World or Disneyland as a kid and that being like their entire childhood. This right here, this is my entire childhood. This is my childhood as formed into a physical being. Still gets me. I still love walking through there. It's funny thinking about all the times I walked through there that I was uneasy or scared. It's funny how the mannequins scared me and the taxidermied animals would scare me, and now I'm obsessed with filming and photographing both those things. So I see a lot of things that helped form the Carpetbagger's brain back in that museum. This was definitely a cultivating pot for my mind and myself. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you want to see other places that I've traveled to and visited, I have an interactive map down in the description. Also, if you'd like to contribute to these videos, I sell t-shirts, and I have a Patreon where I will send you postcards if you donate at least $3. So for now, this one is in the bag.